getting everything ready for barn chores. I have a cloth to wipe her with and a towel to dry her with. This is the bucket I'll actually milk into, but I take this one down to store the milk because she usually gives more than will fit in this bucket. And then this bucket just has everything we need for King. So it's got the bottle and a filter and the nipple and a funnel. And then I also have an extra bucket in case, like if one of the kids helps or if Coco steps in this bucket, I don't want to keep using it for milk. So I give that milk to like the dog or to the chickens. And then I've got another clean bucket to milk in. Got my sea of boots out here. Good morning, Mr. J. Get them some food, the faster they'll settle down. So we're going to clean her up. I'm going to wipe down her whole udder. She's pretty clean, you can see. She doesn't have like dirt in any, she's not covered in poop or anything. But we can get some of the hair off and any dirt or anything that she's got on her. Dry her off because nobody wants to be cold. So then I'm going to squirt out 1 squirt from each teat, unclog any bacteria, and then we're going to pray she doesn't kick the bucket, literally or figuratively. It wasn't as good as I normally am with my food choices yesterday, so my hands are really stiff this morning. I have rheumatoid arthritis and it has been really flared up with this pregnancy, and I've been able to manage it beautifully with what I do and don't eat. But we had a birthday this weekend and there are some things in my house that aren't normally in my house. And I indulged in a little too much yesterday, and so the consequence is that my hands are really stiff this morning. So I'm getting milk out. I don't know if you can see the stream of milk that I'm getting. The bucket's probably filled to about, right about here right now. I'm still waiting for her to kind of relax and really let down. Did you know that goats can reserve milk, so can a cow, for their babies, so they can hold back some milk. Her babies are at the weaning age right now, so we could wean them, but she's still with them throughout the day. So she started dancing around a little bit. I'm going to dump this in my big bucket so that if she does kick this over, I don't lose the milk. And then if she kicks this bucket, I don't lose that milk. That noise you hear is a hen singing her egg song. She's starting to dance a little bit more. But she's getting a stronger letdown. So I've got a stronger stream of milk coming out with each squeeze. So she is nursing her 2 babies, and I'm pulling milk out to give a bottle to our buckling, and we still get a half a gallon of milk in the fridge every day. And one thing that's really cool, this is where I might geek out on you science-wise, goat milk is naturally homogenized, so it doesn't separate cream from milk unless you use like a cream separator, a machine that will separate it. So it's naturally homogenized. The cow's milk you buy at the store has been chemically homogenized. It's a chemical process that they use to mix the milk and keep it mixed so that it doesn't settle. Because naturally, cream in cow's milk rises to the top and you could skim it off. So this is raw, I don't pasteurize it. So pasteurization is extreme heating to kill bacteria. And that process was started when people started moving into cities and they didn't have refrigeration yet, but they still wanted to have milk. And so they were bringing the cows into the cities, and they weren't out on pasture, and they weren't getting fresh area. They were stuck in stalls or in pens with their manure, and there was a rise of bad bacteria. That's a true thing. But instead of getting the animals in a more natural environment, they started processing the milk. But there's a sacrifice, there's a price to pay for everything, right? When you pasteurize milk, a couple of things happen. They don't strain it after they kill the bacteria. So now you have dead and decaying bacteria in your milk that you buy at the store, even the expensive organic stuff. And you've also killed all the good bacteria and natural digestive enzymes that are present in that milk when it's raw. I think she needs a little more alfalfa pellets. Because she's a mama in milk, she gets alfalfa pellets. So that way I don't have to buy alfalfa hay that the other goats can't or shouldn't eat. Coco's the only one who really needs it, so I can get it in this pellet form, and then she can have it. It helps support her milk supply, gives her some extra protein and some extra nutrients and vitamins that she needs as a nursing mama. The next cool thing about goat's milk that's not true about most of those, you know, the big black and white dairy cows that you think of when you think of dairy cows? Those are called Holsteins. That is the conventional breed. But genetically speaking, those Holsteins are an A1 genetic line. And that's really hard for human consumption. Cows that are an A2 genetic line are easier for your body to digest. So what I'm doing now is massaging her udder to get more of a letdown. So when you start talking about some Jerseys or some American milking Devons, some more heritage breeds of like family milk cows, they're an A2 line. Guess what? Goats are an A2 line too. And so some of it has to do with just the size of the animal and the size of the fat globules that are in the milk and the size of the milk protein itself that makes it easier for you to digest. But a lot of it has to do with the A2. So people who have milk sensitivities, a lot of times they can handle the raw milk because it doesn't have some of the problems that I told you about before. It has the digestive enzymes and it has the good bacteria and it doesn't have the dead bad bacteria. But it's also A2 milk. All right, Coco's about done. I know she's done because her teats kind of collapse and I can massage her and not get a lot more milk out. But you don't have to fear, I'll show you. She'll go turn right around and she'll nurse those babies because she's still got milk in there. She's just holding out on me. So this is my big milk pail that I use to hold the milk because it's got a lid. And it's full to about here today. So it's a good amount of milk. Aren't you glad your babies don't nurse like that? She wouldn't stand there if she wasn't happy with it. But look at those little tails wagging. Is that good stuff, girls? You're such a good mama. Thanks for feeding our family, too. Hi, Mr. King. This is my favorite chore. He's gonna sneeze as soon as I take this out of there. Oh, goodness. Oh, it's all done. It's all gone. 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 So right now we have 3 babies. These 2 are females. They are Coco's babies from this year. And this is Mr. King, who is our herd sire. He will grow up and he will breed with all my Oberhasleys this year. This is Ruth and this is Esther. They're Coco's babies from this year. Hold it real close to you. You want to pet them gently? You can pet them gently. Gently. Are they soft? So what is your favorite part about the homestead?
Well, my favorite part is we don't just have animals for fun, we have animals for a purpose, but we can still do fun stuff with them, like holding a newborn kitten. It's so adorable and so fluffy.
Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
Oh, it's eating, good.
This one is the chicken nurse. She noticed this animal was not doing so well. It was kind of weak and not being able to get to the food. And so she set it aside and built it a little nest. This is not how these meat chickens should be behaving. They are like crazy hungry. But she's getting it to eat. Is it warm this morning under all that straw?
It's still warm.
It's still warm. It's making noise, which is good. But this is part of why we raise our own food. And if this animal was in a factory setting, they wouldn't even maybe have even noticed. They probably would have just let it die, or they may have just killed it. If this animal doesn't get strong enough, it wouldn't be a good animal for us to eat. But we are going to do our best to take care of it.
The problem is I might get attached to my food now.
That's a hard one.
A problem.
But you know what? At the end of the day, you knew you did everything you could to take care of this animal.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, everybody. Don't touch that fence, guys. I don't have any food for you yet this morning. But they think I do, so they're coming over to say hi. Woo! I don't have any food for you this morning. Are you getting to know those piggies? So this is part of how we're acclimating. He can see and he can smell them. So he can get used to their sights and sounds and noises without having access to them. He knows this fence is electric because it bit him on the nose. But for those of you wondering about the destructiveness of pigs, if you look, they've kind of rooted up a little bit right there. A little bit a couple of places. But really not bad. They made one wallow right there. And that's it. So we could keep them on this fence, on this pasture for the better part of a week without having to move them. Is that one nice to you?
Yeah. Oh, that one is bad. Oh, that one just No, that one is eating the food. No, in the grass. They have fresh grass.
They have fresh grass. Does that make for good bacon?
Yeah. They are big, so they...
You coming over to say hi? Hi, sweet boy. So this is our boar. He doesn't have a name yet, but he's going to be our daddy pig. You want to call that one Sandwich? That one's going to be our mommy pig. We're not going to eat her. She's going to make more bacon bits.
Okay.
We're not going to eat...
Not nice to me.
He's not nice to you.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to be friends. This one is sitting down. Can you see it? This guy is sitting down like a dog to be pet. I'll bet he'll take a belly scratch. Why don't you scratch his belly?
Yeah.
Come scratch his belly. See if he'll flop over. Here. Scratch his belly. Scratch his belly.
Yes. He would flop over. I would scratch his belly.
This, my friends, is my 3-year-old with my hogs. This is the beauty of this breed, that they are so gentle and friendly. He's got his eyes closed. Can you see that?
No, he got his eyes open.
He just opened it back up. Keep scratching his belly. He'll fall asleep again. Come back and scratch his belly. Scratch his belly. He's going to close his eyes and go to sleep. Look at that. He's so relaxed from your belly scratches that he's going to go to sleep.
Eyes closed.
His eyes are closed. You scratched his belly and put him to sleep.
I didn't. He's still asleep.
What do you think about that?
He's still asleep.
So I'm back up from the barn. The kids are outside still playing and finishing up the chores, and I am going to filter the milk. So there's a couple of practices when dealing with raw milk that we employ, and one of them is this milk is really warm, and you need to cool it as quickly as possible. It's not quite as much of a rush in the winter because it's cold outside, but as the temperatures rise, I want my milk to get cool as quickly as possible. I think that helps the taste, but it also, from a cleanliness and a bacterial perspective, I don't want to leave a warm, wet place for bacteria to grow. I want to protect the cultures and the good bacteria and enzymes that are in the milk, which is the benefits of drinking raw milk, but I don't want to create a place for other bacteria to grow. And bacteria does not grow between the time that I leave the barn and the time I get to the kitchen. But so what I do is I filter my milk, just like I talked about, where I want to get any hair or if there's any dirt. But you saw me clean cocoa, so I know that we're safe there. So I'm going to filter it to get off any hair. So I want to get it clean, I want to get it filtered, and then I put it in the freezer for about an hour and a half because this is a half gallon jar, so we'll get a good amount of milk. And that'll cool it really quickly, and then I put it in the refrigerator. I don't freeze it, like it doesn't become frozen, it just chills it really quickly. And then I've got my milk, and I've got a clean glass jar, and I'm going to filter it the same way I did with the bottle. And then again, I'll show you, this is my filter. That's just, there's a couple of pieces of hair in it, and that's about it. It's just not a dirty process. I'm showing you this because people are afraid of raw milk. People are afraid that one sip is gonna kill them. And that's just not true. There's a lot of fear rolled up in that. And we now live in a society where Twinkies are considered healthy, but raw milk is considered reckless and dangerous. And part of our mission is to teach people that with proper handling and proper education about it, this stuff that we're doing, everybody used to know. But we've moved away from that. And so now part of our goal is to learn as much as we can and share what we've learned from you. So I'm gonna get a lid on this. I'm gonna mark it with the date People ask me about how long it lasts. I've really never had it go bad. If the milk sits in my fridge for a week, it starts to have a little bit of a grassy flavor, which I don't like, but it's not spoiled. The flavor changes. You're not used to the milk, the flavor of your milk changing because of the pasteurization and homogenization process. Milk in the spring on fresh grass tastes different than milk in the winter on hay. I like it on day 2. It's got such a good creamy flavor. And this particular breed of goat, the Oberhaslis, it doesn't taste goaty. I don't know another way to explain it. We had a goat, Miss Rose. Her milk tasted like goat cheese. You know that sharp, tart flavor of goat cheese, which is lovely on a salad in a little bit, but you wouldn't want to drink I wouldn't want to drink a whole glass of it. Nobody liked it. So even though she was an amazing goat, we sold her and stuck with the breed that we like. So this is how much, remember that I took a bottle's worth off for King, and so she would have given more than half a gallon. So she's an amazing goat for our family. So I'm gonna get a lid on this with the date, get it in the freezer, and then I'm gonna wash all my pails so they'll be ready for tomorrow. Cody, what are you doing, crazy boy? So, we got a pretty good life here, right? Pretty good. We got animals to snuggle, lots of room to play, growing lots of our own food, that kind of stuff. But it's not always perfect, right?
Nothing's perfect.
Nothing's perfect.
Nothing ever existed. Except for maybe Jesus and Mary.
Jesus and Mary, right. But other than Jesus and Mary, it's not perfect.
Nothing was perfect at all.
So, lest you all think that everything is always perfect here on the homestead, something crawling on my leg is definitely not perfect. We had some road bumps in barn chores tonight. So what are the 2 things that happened that were definitely not perfect?
I got the meat chickens water. I filled it up with the hose. And they knocked it over. They knocked it all over and it dumped all out. So I took it, I went to refill it, and I stepped on 3 eggs that were laid in the corner and broke them.
So how many times did you have to refill the meat chicken's water just tonight? 3 times. She had to go back out, get the hose back out, turn it back on, refill it, bring it back in 3 times, and stepped on 3 chicken eggs for a chicken who just can't be bothered to lay in those beautiful nesting boxes that we've made for them. It's not always perfect. What do you think? Is it still worth it? Yeah. It's hard right in the moment to still feel like it's worth it, but that's why we'll start over and we'll do it all again tomorrow. So we're trying to think of our official tagline. We have friends who do a vlog who say it's another great day on the homestead, and we have another person we watch who says,
y'all be good.
Y'all be good. And then we have another person who kind of high-fives the camera. So we don't know what our official goodbye is going to be.
Bye.